आज के हमारे खास मेहमान हैं Amazon प्राइम पे रिसेंटली रिलीज्ड हॉरर थ्रिलर अधूरा के राइटर डायरेक्टर जो अनन्या बैनर्जी और गौरव चावला। ढेर सारी बातें हम करेंगे इनसे कि भाई क्या सोच रही इतना हमको डराने के पीछे। बट सबसे पहले अ वार्म वेलकम टू बोथ ऑफ यू ऑन आवर प्लेटफॉर्म।
Thank you,
Thank you
Nidhi.
so much, Nidhi.
And congratulations for the success, for the love that both of you are receiving and the series is receiving. So I want to know, as the creators and as the writers, how does it make you feel? Starting with you, Ananya.
It feels really good because horror as a genre was a punt in itself,
Yeah.
Not that many people explore it. People want to explore it, but you don't always have production houses or even platforms agreeing. So that was a big risk, and seeing it pay off is really it validates it because it's one of the genres कि अगर एक ने रास्ता फौज कर दिया ना तो उसके लिए बाकी सबके दरवाजे खुलने की chances हैं, and it's a genre that's so close to my heart that I wish more people get to make it. So it's all very exciting.
It is. What Gaurav आप क्या ऐड करेंगे इस पे?
Of course, I also think what is nice is the kind of messages that we are getting and the kind of reactions. Of course, the horror and the thrill part of it, but even for the story and the issues that are touched upon, bullying ho या homophobia हो या friendship हो, उनके ऊपर मतलब रील बना रहे लोग और लंबे लंबे नोट्स लिख रहे हैं, and that connecting with people now that feels really nice. I mean, of course, there's something that some people will not like it, of course, but reaching out to a larger section in a simpler way at times is what is important rather than up. So that feels really good.
Right. You're so right. I was going through the comments that people have put on Twitter. So a lot of them commonly said, ये हर दूसरे आदमी की कहानी हो सकती है. So, people are finding it that relatable for whatever reasons. कोई boarding school में पढ़ा है, किसी का supernatural experience रहा है, किसी ने, these sensitive issues को झेला है. So many reasons that you guys have kind of succeeded in making it relatable. But, Ananya, as you were saying पहले, कि ये ना एक रास्ता किसी ने फोर्ज कर लिया फिर पीछे बाढ़ आ जाएगी. आई हैवंट सीन इट हैपनिंग इन इंडिया. अगर मैं हॉरर जॉनर की पर से बात करूं यार, मतलब बचपन की अगर बात करें, वी हैड सम हॉरर शोज. फिर उसके बाद देयर वाज दिस एक टाइम आया जब बहुत सारी मूवीज इस तरह की बनी, बट बहुत सारी उसके बाद फॉलो नहीं हुई एंड दे weren't that effective. So as you said, I'll ask you this. You said it's your favorite genre, very close to your heart. What reason do you see यार कि इंडिया में नहीं वो डेवलप हो रहा?
I think India में there's so much horror that already exists दुनिया में, like when you see America, Europe, largely America, because it's such a studio based country, so they've made horrors in a way that they've had the budgets, they've had the the technicians, they've had the VFX studios, they've had a lot of money and finesse to be able to back it up. The first few horror films in America were like major studio films like Frankenstein and all. तो वो उन्होंने एक इतना सेटअप कर दिया है एक एग्जाम्पल की तरह कि हॉरर ऐसे ही होगा, बड़ा हॉरर होगा, पैसे होंगे, हर जगह कुछ होगा. That I think as a country that is a largely drama, storytelling, that kind of a cinematic country, for us, we are now reaching the point where we can say, chalo, okay, we can maybe match the VFX, maybe we can match the prosthetics. It's a growing country in that way that because of OTT, all these new technicians and artists are coming into the fore. So I think now we are creating a little bit of a skill set to be able to pull it off. But अभी तक I think because हमेशा ये होता था कि एक church दिखाएंगे, एक priest दिखाएंगे, ऐसे कोई उड़ के जाएगा, वो स्टैंडर्ड बन गया था अमेरिका का. जबकि in India we have enough stories within our folklore. You ask anybody, they have either seen a ghost or they know someone who has seen a ghost. तो हो ही नहीं सकता कि इस कंट्री में ये स्टोरीज ना चले, especially the way that we presented it, that it's more of a coming of age horror, if I was to say it like that, where there is heart, where there is you're following friendships, you're following a person's journey, उसमें horror है. So if you marry that storytelling that Indian audiences like with a little bit of that technical skill, I think it can work, and there is a lot of promise.
Yeah, you know, you're right in this aspect, क्योंकि एक तो वेस्ट का स्टैंडर्ड जो आपने जैसे कि डिस्क्राइब किया वो है, पर इंडिया के स्टैंडर्ड की बात करूं, सो अगर आप 10 लोगों को पूछोगे, 7 लोगों का जवाब होगा, अरे हॉरर का क्या होता है इंडिया में, थोड़ा सा सेक्स डाल दो, थोड़ा सा बहुत सारा ब्लड डाल दो, यही होता है. Okay, so I think you agree with what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
you guys have managed to astray from that, right? You guys have managed to have a story. So Gaurav, my question to you is, क्योंकि अनन्या का तो ये जॉनर, शी लव्स इट, बट डू यू ऑल्सो लव इट एज मच, और यू वर ऑन दैट नोट के यार मुझे ये जो नोशन है ये बदलना है, और हॉरर के जरिए भी कहानी कही जा सकती है, ये इस्टेब्लिश करना
निधि सी, एक तो सी रोज इट्स वेरी एक्साइटिंग एंड चैलेंजिंग जॉनर, राइट? बिकॉज अगर ज्यादा बन नहीं रही है इसमें तो इट्स लाइक अ चैलेंज टू, it's a mother, you get to learn something.
है.
I'm not, I mean, that big a watcher as she is. Of course, you get to learn. Then you start watching, then you start seeing things. और वो करते करते, but yeah, for me the story is also important. Like what अनन्या जैसे कहा कि अगर आपकी कहानी सही होगी and that connects with people, उसमें horror comes as सोने पे सुहागा and the thrill. And now you marry both of those things and you present it. And the maza is in that. Like when we used to read it also, when we used to watch the edits also, when even office mein, like say Nikhil ho ya Madhu ho ya Monisha ho, they used to react to the emotional parts also along with the thrill parts. And कि यार वो सीन में थोड़ा रोना आ गया. So those elements are also, मैं तो एक बोर्डिंग स्कूल में गया था, तो मुझे बोर्डिंग स्कूल की कहानी जैसे सामने आई तो मैं बोला हाँ. एंड दूसरी चीज व्हाट शी वाज सेइंग, सबने किसी हमारे कल्चर में एक्चुअली सुपरनैचुरल तो बहुत ही ठहरा हुआ है ना. मतलब किसी ने आत्मा के बारे में तो सब वी ऑल बिलीव इन इट ग्रोइंग अप. वी थिंक देयर इज लाइफ आफ्टर डेथ. आई डोंट थिंक that aspect of it is very very common for everybody. It's not alien के यार आत्मा, बुरी आत्मा अच्छी आत्मा जैसी भी है, पर that aspect is very important in our culture overall.
Right. Right. So, but
Also,
how did
the
this idea come to the both of you कि भाई ऐसी कहानी एक लिखनी है और उसको एक हॉरर जॉनर के एनवेलप में लपेटना है हमें? How did all that happen? I want to know that, Ananya.
So we had this gentleman called Anand Jain. He brought the concept to us. At that point, it was just the bare bones of the idea. But usme there was a lot of possibility. वो एक gem सा लग रहा था, and we thought if we kind of put our heads together, then इसमें से we can really create a world. And of course, it was my lifelong dream to be able to make horror. But having said that, I'm a huge fan of classical horror, and if you see that, it's not a niche genre. So from the very get-go, even when I was developing the story, I knew I didn't want it to be niche because I didn't want only 10 people to see it. Only those 10 horror fans will say it's excellent and then nobody else watches it. And so in order for it to not be niche and be more palatable to everyone, we knew that it had to be centered in that horror genre. But also, if you make it a thriller, then people will keep at it. Intrigue bana rahega.
Right.
But if you base it on the foundation of things like love, friendship, the problems that 16-year-olds face, the regrets that 32-year-olds have, and वो मैंने कहा क्यों नहीं, मैंने वो किया क्यों नहीं, काश मैं वापस जाके कुछ कर लेता. These are problems that everyone faces. So horror was just the vehicle, but we wanted to tell a much larger story, So like I say, you come for the horror, but you stay for the heart. And so that was always the idea with this story. So while we wanted to make horror, we also wanted to say some really important things about, if you watched it and now that people are also reacting to it, the whole LGBTQIA issue, homophobia, bullying. These are very real world problems. They're bigger than a ghost and a spirit.
Right.
These are the problems that people battle with on an everyday level.
Right.
So it's a social commentary horror.
Correct. But horror के लिए effective होने के लिए मुझे also ये लगता है कि it's not just the story or certain elements जो आप create करते हो. Background music is important in it. The space that you have created, उसकी spookiness, उसकी eeriness is important, and of course the actors play a very very vital role क्योंकि वो जिस तरह से अपनी बातों को डिलीवर कर रहे हैं, अगर उनको डर लग रहा है या उनसे हमको डर लग रहा है एज ऑडियंस, so I think then it does justice to the genre. You guys have got 100 points in all these areas. So Gaurav, tell me what was मतलब ये सारी चीजें इकट्ठा कैसे हुई ये?
वो इन द सेंस दैट पहले तो लिखा था वैसे, जो जैसे अनन्या ने लिखे स्क्रीन प्ले, इफ यू एवर रीड अ पेज, वो बिल्डिंग कैसी होनी चाहिए, वो साउंड कैसा होना चाहिए, उसमें म्यूजिक लिखा हुआ है, इट्स रिटेन ऑन पेपर. सो वी न्यू द वर्ल्ड दैट वी वांटेड इज वेरी क्लियर. एंड I mean, we got a very good team. So Srijan हमारे DOP है, who's done a fantastic job. And over months of sitting together and finding frames and research, ऐसे shoot करेंगे, ये करेंगे. Srijan, Lakhan, they were all, this is the DOP team that was all there. Sound design में, I mean, John Stewart जिसने music किया, he's done Shershah, he's done Mirzapur. So we got good people who are, Jojo ने sound design किया है, he's the sound designer of Uddham Singh. Vicky Kaushal picture. Then Justin, who's the mixer, the national award winner. तो ये सब लोगों को इकट्ठा लाके, and now we lean on them. Of course, we give our ideas, but when you get good technicians and a good team around, production design or costume, and you get them all together, that's when the world. I mean, we can't take all the credit for it at all. We are pretty much leaning on them to be our eyes and ears and to just execute it all in a certain way. And then the actors come into it,
Right.
who are all fantastic, from the kids to Ishfaq, Rasika, Zoa Murani, all these people. Rahul Dev. I mean, Rahul Dev is such a wonderful actor and such a underutilized actor, I feel. I mean, वो एंट्री करते हैं तो लगता है अच्छा अभी कुछ हो, ये तो अथॉरिटी आ गई यहाँ पे. भूत को मार सकते हैं.
Right. So, as I said, every essence, because, as you said, Ananya, कि इंडिया में तो हो ही नहीं सकता कि किसी के पास अपनी एक हॉरर स्टोरी खुद की नहीं होगी तो किसी से सुनी हुई वाली नहीं होगी. And since I belong to a hill station, so I could relate to that fact, जब बारिश होती है, मिस्ट होता है और आप एक सुनसान सड़क पे जा रहे हो तो यार 10 बार पीछे तो देखते ही हो. So, we all have that kind of a relationship with spookiness.
मैं तो कभी पीछे नहीं देखती, आगे देख लो, पीछे कभी नहीं देखना होता है.
Are you talking out of experience? Are you talking out of experience?
Yeah,
yes, she is. Please ask her the story.
हॉरर मूवी में यही तो बोलते हैं ना कि पीछे नहीं देखना चाहिए, भागो आगे भागो.
नहीं, बट आपके साथ हुआ कभी कोई ऐसा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस जहाँ आपको लगा कि यार there is some presence?
हाँ, I think I felt it a couple of times, also because I like to believe in it. So I think it's like that person who says कि एक दिन तो मैं शाहरुख खान से मिलूंगी, तो वो रोज मैनिफेस्ट करता है कि मैं शाहरुख खान से.
Ananya is manifesting her ghostly Shahrukh Khan.
Yeah.
एक दिन तो भूत मिलेगा. Because you believe in it so much and you get so excited by the stories that I think sometimes I manifested it. But I did have this experience where when I used to live in Goa, I used to live in this haunted house.
Oh, you chose a haunted house also?
Yeah, I didn't choose it. Yeah, it just happened.
You manifested a house also that was haunted.
Yeah. And the whole time I thought मैं पागल हूँ, ये आवाजें शायद कहीं और से आ रही है. मैं रोज पता करती थी कि पास वाले घर में कोई रह रहा है कि नहीं. रोज बोलते थे नहीं रह रहा है. मुझे अपनी किचन से आवाजें आती थी रात को, एंड आई यूज्ड टू कीप थिंकिंग कि मुझे ही सुनाई दे रही है. बट देन जब और लोग मेरे घर में रहने आते थे, वो रात को उठ के बोलते थे तेरे घर में नीचे कोई है. And then it just kept on increasing and increasing to the point where one day I was riding on my scooter and I actually felt someone jump behind me, like get on.
Okay.
And I'm riding through the fog. Goa में ना November में काफी fog होता है paddy fields में, तो कुछ नहीं दिखाई देता है. So it's like a wave of fog and I'm riding. और मैंने ना बस अपना साइड व्यू मिरर ऐसे पीछे कर दिया कि मुझे ग्लिम्प्स भी ना दिखे कि अगर मेरे पीछे कोई बैठा है तो मैं तो उड़ते हुए जाऊंगी पैडी फील्ड में. किसी तरह मैं मार्केट तक पहुंच जाऊं क्योंकि भीड़ में तो गोस्ट भी नहीं आएगा. Just riding. So I felt it at various points in my life and sometimes it's been a little unsettling.
Right. Gaurav, I could smell a story in the making here. How come you've not made something on her experience? मैं तो, as she was explaining, मुझे लग रहा था कि ये बिल्कुल narrate कर रही हैं और I could just visualize this haunted Goan house, noises, alone एक लड़की, paddy fields.
Exactly.
इस सीजन को बहुत प्यार और प्यार मिलेगा तो हम बनाते रहेंगे.
Full on हमको मतलब डराने का प्लान है आपका.
हाँ.
Okay.
Okay, so
नहीं
your
नहीं
favorite genre
डराने
is...
का और साथ में sorry
Yes, please. No, Gaurav,
no
please
no
continue.
horror with heart का plan है हमेशा. That is the
Or
plan. What she said, horror with heart. डराने
right.
का and to get you invested in the story also.
Right. But other than that, चलो एक तो ये space हो गई, you guys have almost kind of mastered it, जितना love अभी तक मिल रहा है. But tell me the way you've ended it in a cliffhanger, okay? Wanting us more, leaving us wanting for more. So are we expecting a season 2? And if yes, how soon?
Yes.
That depends on a lot of other things and Prime Video and this and that. But we have ideas in our mind. Ananya has ideas in our mind of what we have to do with it. So वो देखते, like she said, जितना love मिले उसके हिसाब से आगे और बढ़ेंगे.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
also the when you create a world, that's the advantage of a world like this. Which when you do fantasy, when you do supernatural, the advantage is that you get to create a world. So the world has many layers and possibilities. But of course, this was us getting our feet wet, and seeing ki will it pass, will it fail, how much will it pass? And so if it does, and if it continues to, then of course, I mean, we are gung ho about it.
Right.
Yeah, for us
Because
it's still Adhura only.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली क्योंकि वो एंड में ऐसा
And
लगा अरे ये तो अधूरी रह गई कहानी. मतलब हमको ऑल द 6 एपिसोड्स में लग रहा था अब खत्म हो जाएगी, 7th में लास्ट शॉट नहीं ये तो अधूरा रह गया पूरा.
तो हमने नाम भी बता दिया था पहले.
है ना?
वही.
पहले यू गाइस वर क्लियर ऑन इट भाई, तुमको चाहिए अधूरा ही रहेगा ये. So apart from this genre, where obviously your story has a heart and of course there's horror and thrill, और कौन से mediums or कौन से genres हैं which both of you would love to kind of create more content on going forward?
I mean, to me, I mean, I've done Bazaar, then I've done Kaun Banegi Chakravarti, and then this. I don't think the genre matters because ये तीन काफी distinct genres है. This kahani matters. Once the story connects, now be it for a platform as a series or a film, and if it's challenging, जिसमें fail होने का डर हो कि अचीव नहीं कर पाए जो करना था, ठीक है अगले बार ट्राई करेंगे, तो वो अधूरी एक चाहत रह जाएगी कि ये वापस कुछ करेंगे इसके साथ. That fear of feeling and the hope of it that you will pass. If the story is challenging, you get to learn while doing it. For me, that's always fun. There's no particular genre as such.
You share the same thoughts, Ananya?
No. I'm very excited by this whole coming of age genre. Those are the films that I've loved the most. Throughout. That's what I was saying, that when you put coming of age, you can put it in any kind of, you put it in a rom-com, you put it in a horror, you put it in action. But that whole thing about someone's, kind of finding their feet. I love those kind of stories, your underdog stories. I also am very excited about like sci-fi and more of the supernatural. This is definitely the kind of space where I would love to explore more.
Right. So may the ideas keep floating to the both of you and may you keep entertaining us. But I really want to know one thing. एक इंसान के उसके खुद के हाथ की उंगलियां बराबर नहीं होती, right? उसमें भी difference होता है. Two of you,
Correct.
two minds, different minds working together to bring forth something which is, getting so much love and adulation. I want to know आपका आपस में जो work collaboration है, वो कितना अच्छे से gel करता है, or you have difference of opinions. So how do you all match it? Gaurav, you start first.
Oh, we have lots of difference of opinions.
I think
I'm
it's
sure.
really
दिन भर
important
चलते
to
रहते
have. It's really important also to have difference of opinion, not just with each other as directors, but with all your heads of departments, because that's how it's a real collaboration. Because we don't want कि हमने एक idea सोचा और सब बस yes बोल रहे हैं. I think it's always much more exciting when minds clash, and then something comes of it where we all agree. And I think with Gaurav and I, that happened. We kept clashing. We would agree, we would disagree. We would even do a lot of research and development with our team. What's going to work, what's not going to work, from camera tests, prosthetic tests, action tests, to color palettes, trying everything. So we didn't leave it to chance. There was a lot of preparation. कि दो उंगलियां अगर एक जैसी नहीं है पर हाथ तो एक है, तो एक हाथ क्यों नहीं है? वो एक हाथ भी
मतलब तो वो preparation time you spend together, right, with the other team members, location पे जाना, it's already written firstly, so you're then with the actors, with the workshops, So by the time you get to location, you set the tone, the ways, whatever. Then shot taking also, you've kind of got an idea of how you want to present something. We also shoot two separate units. It's not like हम लोग दोनों साथ में मॉनिटर बैठ के शूट कर रहे हैं.
अच्छा.
अनन्या स्कूल के क्लासरूम में शायद कर रही है, मैं गार्डन में कर रहा हूँ, मैं कॉरिडोर में कर रहा हूँ, तो वो बाहर कोई और सीन कर रही है.
Okay.
So it's like we keep shooting different scenes the whole time. Some bigger scenes will be together because then you need everybody over there and all our minds. It's like some मतलब 20 actor है, कोई इससे बात कर रहा है, कोई उधर कर रहा है. But I think it's all pretty much in the prep time पे, रेकी के टाइम पे, यहाँ वहाँ पे आर्गुमेंट कर करके, निखिल भी है, मोनिशा, मधु, अमेजोन से लोग हैं, तो सबके दिमाग आके फिर भी लाइक ठीक है हम जाके शूट कर लेते हैं अभी. एंड फिर एडिट में, पोस्ट में, म्यूजिक, साउंड के टाइम पे, lots of times we'll rely on them. We might have a different opinion. They say no, but this is better actually. So you are like, okay, ठीक है, आप tie break कर दो.
I think that shooting separately is also the key, because then that gives us distance on set, where after all that planning, we are then taking those instinctive and learned sort of decisions on set independently. You know, if we had to do it together every day, I think then that would be
No, I used to go running to a time and say, अरे ये कैसे तुमने लिखा ही है? Are you sure ये कैसे shoot करना है? ये बताओ तो मुझे अभी से.
Right. So one is both of you basking in all the love and success, you know, that Adhura is getting. The other is, what next are you all prepping for? या ये भी अधूरा रहेगा.
There is a bunch of things that ये डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं, अभी तो होने दो.
कुछ अधूरा रख देंगे तो क्या होगा?
We will tell you first, Nidhi.
Please. I will wait for it. मेरा इंटरव्यू पूरा होना चाहिए.
Yes.
So may you both, you know, kind of get your heads together. May a lot of ideas keep floating to you, because what you've created here today, this magic with Adhura that we are seeing, is really, really good, especially in this space जो जैसे मैंने शुरू में कहा, इंडिया में बहुत ही कम हमें देखने के लिए मिली है. So wishing you all the luck for all the future work that the both of you put together, and thank you so much for your time for this interview. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Thank you.